Welcome back. Thanks for joining us today. We're bringing you another live stream. I'm Rolando, and Dave is off to my left here.
Over
He's
here.
joining me, my co-host. And today we're going to tackle a couple of issues around working from home and how mobile users, so meaning if you're using your mobile phone as your primary method of communication, how you can use it most effectively using some of our most popular devices that we have today. We're going to feature our Plantronics 5200 UC. We're also going to feature a BlueParrott B550. So we're going to have some product demonstrations for you today, as well as a live demonstration that we're going to do an actual water dunk test. So that's to come later at the end of the show. So let's throw it to our trivia question to start off this session. So we've got a trivia question. Which company produced the first headset for NASA missions? Was it Jabra? Was it Sennheiser, Logitech, or Plantronics? Stay tuned, and we'll bring the answer to you later. All right. So Dave, let's jump right into this with the work from home. This is our second part of our work from home series, and this we're going to focus on mobile devices and primarily for people that are at home using their mobile devices as their method of communication. And whether you're working for a company or you're working for yourself, or you just want to improve your audio while you're working from home using your mobile devices, you'll find this session very interesting. So one of the things that we in the last 20 years that we've been working with customers, even before the current situation we find ourselves in when many, many more people are working from home, there's a consistent pattern in people complaining about noise, be it distractions around them, or even the people that they talk to tend to say that, hey, look, I hear the dog barking, I hear the blender going, I hear kids running around, and that's something for the most part, a lot of folks are coming into work from home given the current situation in the United States, and they're starting to discover devices for the usage. So and a lot of folks are also using these devices for business purposes, whether you're on Zoom, whether you're using Teams, or you're using Ring Central or some other type of application that's on that mobile phone that allows you to communicate. So Dave, you still there with me?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right. So let's jump into talking about the two devices that we're featuring today. Let's start off with the Plantronics 5200, or if you want to talk about applications, we'll go ahead and see where do you want to start, 5200 or the applications?
Let's talk about the Voyager 5200 here.
Okay.
So I'm highlighting this. You should be able to see this down below on our stream. This product has become extremely popular. It was already a big seller, and now, since people have been sent home and they need some hands-free solutions, they want something that's going to help them work a little bit better. It certainly has been just a popular solution. So the 5200, this is a true Bluetooth headset. It does feature multi-point connectivity, so a user can have this paired up to their computer. You can also have this paired up to a cell phone as well. It's a slick design. They call it behind the ear. Why don't we look at some of these videos here, Rolando?
Sure. It's kind of an unboxing at the same time, some instructions. And the 5200 comes with several things. It comes with those ear gels and a USB charging cable. And we also sell, it doesn't feature it on the video, but when you buy it through Global Teck, which if you happen to be on our Amazon stream, you'll see it right now at the bottom of your screen. If you're watching us on YouTube or LinkedIn, or Facebook, you can always come into our Amazon site, or if you're watching us during the playback, we'll have links for you available below. So you'll have a charging case, and I'll just reach behind me because I happen to have it. This nice, beautiful charging case, if you're also looking at me, it comes with the 5200. And the 5200 itself fits in this nice little case. It's inside here, and along with it comes a dongle, and we'll get into this dongle and why this is a very special device that you should be using when you're using a computer. But essentially you get this, you get the earpiece, you get the dongle, and you also get the attachments that were featured on that video. So you could, or you could roll that video, and we could keep talking around that video. And this is a little bit of an instruction. And you see that charging case says sold separately, but we provide that as part of our bundle on Amazon.
Yep.
And it's quite intuitive. Can you hold it there? Pause it there, Ori. I happen to find, Dave, I don't know about you, but you've probably, like me, you've used a ton of different headsets. For me, I find that on the 5200, the ear hook, as it's called, an ear hook design, because it's meant to be used around the back of the ear. I find that to be one of the most comfortable ear hook designs among all of the headsets that I've tried. From an ear hook design perspective, it's very comfortable. It's very lightweight. It rotates to both sides, so you could wear it on the left. You could wear it on your right-hand side. The buttons are intuitive, which is what you're seeing on the video as well. It does have the buds that stick into the ear, but I find that the ear gels are fairly comfortable for using it through a couple of hours a day. And again, that's maybe what we should just jump into while you're holding that frame there, Ori, is the intended user. What's the ideal user? Because you see this, I'll let the video speak for itself, but the 5200, it's not the cheapest device on the market from a Bluetooth perspective. It's definitely not the most expensive. So who are the ideal users that would be best suited for the 5200?
Well, I think if you take a look at the form of this particular product, Rolando, it's a very slick or sleek form factor. You know, like you had said, it's that behind the ear style. So it's a hairdo friendly product. You certainly don't look like a call center worker with this particular headset, but it's nice for someone that's obviously in a home office, as you and I are both in today. But they're really also gearing this towards folks that are, also leaving their office and they still need to continue with their business conversations. You know, you wouldn't be embarrassed to be seen in public wearing a product like this.
It's very fashionable. It's very fashionista. I don't know if it's won any fashion awards, but it's certainly one that I've used when I'm definitely going to a function. Now we're in the middle of a pandemic here, so a lot of places are not available for us to go. Restaurants, for the most part, or networking events, those are very limited or been postponed. But I used it quite frequently for those events because it's a very nice looking headset. And when you go to
Sure.
one of those kind of functions, you want to look good, especially if you got to take calls or you're expecting calls. You just pop it on your head and you look really cool with it.
And, let's not forget, even though people may not be leaving their office, they still want to look good when they're on camera. I think a lot of folks are attracted to this particular product when they do a lot of videos because, again, it's discreet. It's just it looks good on video and in public as well.
Now on the screen, it's showing you can tap the button to answer, which would be the button that this guy is tapping there. But you can also, depending on exactly, it says answer. So if you're getting a call, and you can answer it just by saying answer. The other thing I should point out is this also brings up a good point when you're getting calls. The mobile phone treats calls that are coming in through your regular mobile device as a voice call. If you happen to get calls and you're working as a business and you're using an app like RingCentral or Skype or some of these other applications, the functionality, in order to use some of these other answer and disconnect with your voice, you have to have an integrated functionality. So, for example, the 5200 has an integrated app that with RingCentral that allows you to on your PC. It allows you to do just that. It allows you to answer the calls from your headset without having to push the buttons on the computer. And that's where the dongle also comes into play. But I just want to make that point of distinction because the mobile phone does treat calls that are on an application quite differently than native phone calls. So I don't want to mislead anybody into thinking that you're going to get the ability to answer when you're using one of those apps, because it treats it as a data call, which is kind of the reference the lingo in the industry. Data call is what you're getting when you're getting a Skype call or you're getting a call from one of these other apps on your phone. Go ahead. And so with this 5200, you do have some other features. You can mute, you can redial a previous call. You have the ability to do a couple of other things. You double tap. you can mute yourself, and we'll get to talking about mute and how that plays in a second. You have also a red button as well that does a couple of different functionalities. It's the multifunction button as well. It's got some really cool sensors. So if you put it on or you put it down, you put down the headset, it essentially goes into a standby mode so that you don't use up as much of the battery. Those sensors are like a gyro sensor of sorts. It knows when it's going up, down, and knows when to activate itself so that it's connected to your phone during those times. Dave, or let me roll it to you. Got anything to interject here while we're still talking about features?
You know, it's what I think was a smart move for Plantronics here is that they did put a few different size earbuds. People always ask about comfort, and you know, in the box here, there's different size earbuds to accommodate you know, what's best for that particular person. So, you know, I think what's important is when folks are looking for something.
That's kind of the box it ships in.
They've done everything that they can to make something that would be comfortable for, you know, for different types of people and different shaped heads and different shape ears and things like that.
When especially I have small ears, and I find that a lot of the headsets are quite frankly made for people with bigger ears, and someone that has small ears has a harder time finding something more comfortable and something that you can wear very easily. And
Right.
the 5200 does work well for people with smaller ears like myself. So if you find that, you know, you tend to find other what are called ear hook designs, which is what the 5200 is, you'll find this a bit more comfortable than, let's say, other headsets that are out there. And to that end, Dave, when we're talking about this versus other headsets, if you're seeing the headset below our screen, if you're on Amazon, you'll get to see the 5200, and you can check that out right now. We have those in stock. And if you're a Prime member, you're going to get these pretty quickly shipped out to you. We have plenty right now. I find that when you use this type of device, you not only the look, feel, comfort, engineering is different, but when you're looking at this, let's say compared to other devices that may be half the price or even less, you're not really comparing apples to apples. So let's talk a little bit about why someone, besides the comfort, besides the look and feel, really would want to step up and upgrade, because it really is an investment versus something like, let's say, that's a different, lower priced Bluetooth headset.
Yeah. So, Rolando, tell me, you know, something was pretty interesting about that case that we bundle with this solution. You know, I don't know if the competitors have anything like this, but tell me about what else does that case do other than hold the headset? It has some extra
features. So a couple of things. You drop it right into the charger, and it can charge the device when it's just, you don't even have to open it up. You can also take it with you on the go. So let's say you're in the car or you happen to be on a plane and you're not going to really use it. You could just put it back in here, and it'll recharge the device. And then you see the LED indicators here. You just press this button. It's on the side, and it will indicate if it's charging and how much charge is in there. And so this is something that you won't get with the lower price devices, especially if you're on the go. The battery lasts anywhere between 4 and 6 hours, depending on the mode you have it set to. And Plantronics does have a software that allows you to customize some of those features. So you can go on the App Store and download the Plantronics app. But it charges the device when it's in there. You could charge it as just saw when I put it on top, and it's very, very cool, especially if you're on the go. And you don't want to have to worry about charging things as you're on the go or in the car. It's just very easy to just have around. And that's something that you won't find typically on the lower end of Bluetooth. It's great to have. And it is an investment, so you're going to pay a little bit more, but you're going to get more. And if you're using this type of device and you are talking with colleagues or you're using it for a business purpose, you'll find that it actually pays for itself.
Yeah, in the peace of mind, knowing that you have a quality product that sounds good. Hopefully it blocks out some of your background noise in your environment. Again,
we're going to get to that. We're
Yep.
going to get to that. We're going to show the folks how that actually works. We're going to actually put it to a very rigorous harsh environment. But before we get to that, Dave, we were talking a little bit earlier about the dongle that comes in with the 5200, and quite
Yes.
frankly, a lot of folks that are new to the headsets, the business type of headsets that have this included, they may not be familiar with why this dongle is important when, let's say, you're using this with a computer. Because a lot of people, even people comment on our listings on Amazon and other places. Hey, what do I really need the dongle? What is it for? I already have Bluetooth on my iPad or on my PC. Why do I need to? And on iPad, in the case of iPad, you wouldn't use it because it wouldn't have a USB. But I have a PC with a built-in Bluetooth. Why do I really need to pay for that?
It's a common question, and it makes a lot of sense. So people will always ask me. They say, I have Bluetooth in my laptop already. Why do I need to invest in the Bluetooth dongle? What value does that Bluetooth dongle bring? The fact of the matter is the Bluetooth that resides in most PCs or laptops, that Bluetooth is not for audio. It's for signaling. So it's for a wireless mouse, a wireless keyboard, maybe a wireless printer. So it's for data, but not necessarily audio. The dongle is really what is helping to create that real solid experience for the audio. Without it, you've wasted your investment. So if you have Bluetooth on your laptop, don't use that Bluetooth. Always make sure that you're buying the product that includes the dongle, because it will make a world of difference.
Right, and all the manufacturers have really that have a business type of headset, because this is really made for folks that are business centric and business first. The dongle is a way to avoid audio issues. And so all of the manufacturers have realized that whether you're using the latest notebook or the latest Chromebook or the latest Mac or Windows, all of them have slightly different implementations of Bluetooth, the placement of the antenna, the amount of resources or a chipset that's in there that's dedicated for Bluetooth. And that really changes the experience from one device to another. And with the Bluetooth dongle, you get a dedicated way to try to avoid some of the issues that are, well, thanks for putting that, Ori. The dongle really does provide you a way to avoid some of these issues that are common. They're quite common when you go over to a Bluetooth environment and you try to use voice over Bluetooth, especially for these apps, the Zooms of the world, the Skype, Teams, and so forth. You really want to stand out. And I'm sure you've been on calls, Dave. I've been on calls where folks have really inferior headsets, or in some cases no headsets at all. And the audio quality coming back through the Zoom call or Teams is just not there. It just really disrupts, and it really wreaks havoc with you.
Yeah, it does. And frankly, it causes fatigue. If I'm working with folks that aren't using a quality audio device, I find myself struggling. We're wasting time if people have to repeat themselves, or we're not being sharp if we're not paying attention, or if we're not picking up on the details of the calls.
Right. And so the 5200, before we move on, you'll find the 5200 if you're on Amazon right now and you're watching us. And Dave, why don't you check to see if we have any folks that are on the chat that we've missed so far. We've neglected them. I know if you have a question right now, you have, whether it's about this product or any of the other products that we have, which are particularly headsets and phones, let us know. Hit us up. Let us know where you're listening. Are you tuning in? Where are you tuning in from the world? So just a plug into chat, and as well above. I don't know if it's on my right or to my left. Above somewhere or below, there should be a follow us button, and you'll also get instant updates on new streams as well as deals that we're going to bring to you.
Yeah.
All right. So one of the other devices that we have, before we move on, Dave, what we should let folks see is an actual demo of the 5200. This was done just a couple of days ago. And so if you're listening to us right now and you have the ability to put on some headphones or put the audio on speakers rather than your native, if you're listening to us on a laptop or your mobile phone, if you have the ability to plug that in, you may want to do that, because you'll get the most audio out of that, and you'll really be able to hear the difference between what it sounds like when you're using a headset and what it sounds like when you're not using a headset with a lot of background noise. Ori, you've got that queued up. You can go ahead and show that live.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a test using the 5200 UC headset from Plantronics. And in this video, what we're going to do is use this blender as my background noise. Now,
If you work from home, you probably are going to get up out of your desk, you're going to move around, and you're going to go in and go to the kitchen, and you're going to make some tasty, yummy, sometimes cocktail.
and maybe a smoothie. So we'll let this Vitamix run in the background while I talk to see if we're actually filtering out some of that background noise. So here we go. Let's give that a try. I'm going to start it on a low speed and increase it and kick it up to a little bit higher, high noise level. So here we go. So I'm going to start talking through this and seeing if you can still hear my voice. Now,
If this is a really hard day, you probably put in this a nice stiff cocktail.
help me knock out some of the cobwebs and bad memories from the day. And hopefully by the end, I have a nice tasty margarita or something along those lines to help me ease the pain of the day.
So let's see, we start cranking this up in the volume. If I keep talking,
So see it's playing in the background there. I've got the headset on, and hopefully you're hearing more of my voice than the actual blender. All right, let's crank it up a little bit more to see if we've got some serious volume coming in through here. All right, that should be good enough. Let's bring that back down. All right, and let's see what this does on the playback.
all right,
That was
so
a great demo.
I realized after when I'm looking at that now, and Ori did a great job of putting the piece together and putting those different pieces. I realized I never moved away from the blender. And when somebody's, if you're, when you're making something, and sometimes, and it really was, I was struggling to hear myself talk.
Yeah.
You can kind of move away, and so I would say that the 5200 does pretty well when you have this type of background noise playing but essentially going on at the same time. So you do see a huge difference when you're on your headset on this one, the 5200, versus when you're let's say you don't. Maybe you're talking straight on your Bluetooth on your mobile device without anything, without a headset, or you are in speakerphone, which is even worse. It's going to bring in even more noise. So I know I like it. So I would say the 5200 is a pretty good device when it comes to about blocking out this type of background noise.
Yeah, I was impressed. And you know what? If you think about this in the real world, if you had walked into an environment without a headset, if you walked into an environment on your mobile phone, we were on a conference call, and if we needed to hear you, Rolando, we wouldn't have heard you for those 10, 15, 20 seconds. And then when you were able to walk and get back into a quieter environment, everyone on the call would ask you to repeat yourself.
Right. That is right.
And that's just, it's time saved when you're using the device. It's time saved.
And when you're using something like this, nobody really knows what they may hear a little bit. You could hear, but you can't really make out that you're gonna have a drink, or you're gonna have you're next to a blender.
Right.
For that matter, which is great, because if you're working from home like you and I right now, you do get up, and whether you're going in the kitchen, or you're going to, the UPS guy comes to the door, or something else happens that's causing noise around you. It's very distracting if you happen to be in the middle of a call, and now everybody knows exactly what's going on. Oh, that's a UPS guy. Oh, your dog is still barking. What? You shut up your dog, right? And so all of those distractions really wreak havoc on somebody. And so having the right equipment to get through the day, especially if you are on these types of calls, makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. And again, think about, the type of worker that this is kind of marketed towards. Yes, a home office worker, but also leaving that home office environment where they can't control any of it.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah, it's an impressive demo. It's an impressive product.
So let's segue over to the other product that we wanted to talk about, which is the BlueParrott. This is a very different device, very different purpose, very different kind of user that tends to use this. It's really one of the devices that we've been selling like hotcakes, and it comes in a couple of different models. So with this session, what we are going to feature is the, hold on a second. What we're going to show is we're going to show a video. We're going to go to it in a little bit, not this moment, Ori. So just hold on. This is intended really for the person that wants to have a longer talk time. And as you can see, it has larger. Let me move into the frame. It has a much larger speaker than, let's say, your 5200, right? The 5200 has a very small speaker, right? But this one's very big. And so for those folks that tend to have way more distractions, whether you're working from home or you're in and out, I mean, I've used this a lot for traveling, especially if you're going through the airport, where the overhead system that keeps playing notifications and things and people walking, this just allows you to keep talking without it being a distraction. Like you saw in the video using the 5200, that distraction in the background really does affect you. And in an airport or in an environment like a warehouse, or you're outdoors and talking, or or in the car, if you happen to be traveling and using your car as a way of communication, and you're going to get calls while you're on the car, this really helps with all of that wind noise and road noise that you tend to get when you're in the car. So it does, like, I was saying that it comes in 3 different models. The 250, actually, so that'd be four. So the 250, 350, and 450, 550. So today we're going to be showing the 550. So Ori, you want to queue up that video on the B550, and we can talk a little bit over it. All right, now while he's bringing that up, oh, there we go. So the 550 is also the B550, 450, and 350 also come with some waterproofing capabilities, and we're going to put this noise background noise microphone to the test here, also with a demo in a little bit, but. The headset is definitely very, very stable. It's more snug than your typical, and you see the talk time. So let's pause it right there, Ori. I think this is the one feature that that we find that a lot of people love about this headset. It's talk time. Mm-hmm. You don't have to worry about, like with the 5200, you do have a case to charge it. But if you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that with this. With the BlueParrott line, their battery talk time is like no other device on the market. Now, is this going to win a fashion award? Look at this thing. Look at this. Look at this thing. Let me put that on. See, it's much bigger than the 5200, but it's not designed to win a fashion award. If your primary concern is talk time, if your primary concern is being able to hear because you have distractions, if your primary concern is, you'll see in a moment, we'll get to the video, is the ability to really block out background noises around you, this is the premier headset that will do that. And so some users may say, ooh, like, Rolando, why wouldn't be caught dead with that thing? Well, maybe that's not the device for you, and everybody's got their own preferences. But for those people that really don't care if you're going to win fashion awards when you're talking to others, and you just want the best audio sound coming through because you're in an environment that tends to be more noisy than not, this is really and you can keep rolling it, Ori. This is the device for you. Right, and then we're going to put, and also this headset comes with an app, and you can download it on the App Store, and it will also allow you to customize some of the features, the mute button, and whatnot. Oh, I must say that yes, this design is very rugged. It's also waterproof, but it's also more snug. As you will see, this stabilizer is what it's called, does tend to hold around your head, and I'll just take these headphones off. It will stay on the head, right? You can do a lot of moving around, and it's not going anywhere. And if you happen to have a much smaller head, I have I have a small head. There's no doubt about it. And it fits fine. It's more snug, so I will tell you, it was more snug. But if you want something that's more snug on your head because you're moving and walking around in and out of the car, up and down your steps, and you find that other headsets tend to slip or slide off, you will notice that this just doesn't go everywhere. Now, it does have the ability to flex, as you can see. It flexes quite a bit. So if you do have a larger head, it does fit. And some folks say it's maybe too snug for them. But if you have a big melon head, it will accommodate it. Just know that it's going to be really snug on you.
So
But if that does,
so it'll
go
fit
ahead, Dave.
me. So I was going to say, so it might fit me. Unlike Rolando, I have a huge noggin. Rugged is an understatement for this particular headset. I think the folks over at BlueParrott, some of them might even almost call it indestructible. The materials, it doesn't it almost look like a carbon fiber ish material, like a.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but they're doing it right.
yeah, they've changed the excuse me. They've changed some of the look and feel on the device, and so it does look a bit more. In a way, I don't want to. The only thing I can think of is a little bit more like some of the military equipment out there, um, or a little bit industrial, maybe the right word. Uh, but it definitely does have the ability to be more rugged than probably this 5200. You know, if I drop this guy, if I drop him here, and you can't see him, it's still going to keep working. Now,
Yeah.
we're going to do a demo here later on, and if it doesn't work, then oops. We have some talk. Yes, the dunk test. That's coming up in a little bit. And if I've just destroyed the device for the dunk test, we'll find out when we do that later today. Okay. Um, we've looked at some footage there on the B550. Uh, what what oh yeah, we have some other models. So I believe we have that featured on our Amazon Live, right? So
Yep.
we have the B550, 450, 350. Now, between these three or among these devices, the difference really is the headband style that you're getting. All three have different price points, and also on the 550, it features the largest of the three in terms of the speaker size. It comes with a much larger profile for a speaker, so it gives you much more volume in your ear than the 450, the 350, and then they have the 250, which is their entry level model. So that's what you're getting. But among all of them, you still get really good talk time. You get really good noise canceling. You also have the ability to do voice enabled control, so it's friendly with your with Google Assistant or whatever else you have on your phone, or whatever you seem to be, whatever one of those voice, I think they're called voice assistants, Siri or Apple or any of those other types of apps that are on your phone. All right, so Dave, did I miss anything else on this B550?
I don't think so. I mean, it's a commercial product. It's extremely rugged, weatherproof. It's going to stay on your head, and it carries a 1-year warranty supported through BlueParrott directly.
All right. So, Ori, I think we could probably queue up that the B550 demo. Let the folks see what that looks like. So, before you roll that, let me just set that up. So, the same test that we just did with the 5200, we also put the Blue Parrot through the same test, the blender test that's running some noise in the background. So that's what you're gonna get ready to see. All right, Ori. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to test out a blender as background noise using our BlueParrott B550 XT headset. Now, what should happen is that with this microphone, you should be able to hear more of my voice than the blender. So I'm going to try to talk through this really noisy blender, and at the same time, we're going to roll footage with a separate camera that's actually going to capture audio without the microphone. So we'll toggle back and forth so you can see what that sounds like, and in real time. So here we go. We'll turn this on, give that a whirl, and then we're going to crank it up into higher speeds, and we'll start off low. Here we go. All right, as you can see, I've got the blender going right now. I'm going to crank it up. I'm going to crank it up some more. I'm going to keep talking through this blender here, and I'm going to take it up so you can see. I am already cranking it. It's on setting number 3, taking it up to number 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, you probably won't do this while you're conversing, but if you really are one of those people that you got to take your stiff drink during the middle of the day, or maybe you have to calm down at the end of the day after a really long day, instead of water, which is what I've got in this blender, probably your favorite cocktail thrown in instead of all water. Okay, so I'm going to try to take it up to the highest setting. So hopefully you're hearing more of my voice than this blender, and we'll see what it sounds like on the playback.
Bravo! What a
Right,
what
wow.
a what a difference. You know, when you have when the audio is not going through the headset, you can't hear anything. I mean,
No,
what a
you
good
couldn't.
product.
And I was really surprised at how much when you're not talking, and sometimes you just when you're dealing with somebody or talking to somebody on the phone, you're listening to them, right? But there's still audio being fed through the microphone,
Sure.
although you may not be saying any words. And in this case, it just turns out that when you're not talking, you can't really make out what's coming through. You can't really hear the blender.
Yeah, and again, if this was not a blender test, if this was just real life, if you didn't have that headset, Rolando, we'd have to, everyone on the call would say, start over. We didn't understand what you said. And then we'd have to spend another couple of minutes having you repeat yourself.
Right. And you may not even be, in this case, I was literally a foot from the blender. And as you know, if you've ever talked to somebody, that noise may not necessarily be a foot away. The source of that noise may be in your kitchen. It may be downstairs or upstairs. But if you don't have a headset on and you're just using a speakerphone, or you happen to just be listening it to on the phone, you can hear that background noise come through and seep through the conversation. In this case, I put myself 1 foot away and I stayed there because I wanted to make sure in the most critical way and in the closest to the audio source to see if it actually did block out some that background noise, and it did a much better job than the 5200.
Yeah.
So it stood the test of the noise.
And if you were on a phone conversation during that, you would be able to hear the other people because it is that larger style speaker. So you would, even though we're looking at the noise canceling microphone side of things, if you were close to a noisy source like that and people were talking, you would probably be able to hear them just fine because the headset itself is just a little bit larger than some of the other products. The way it sits and kind of cups onto your ear, so it's focusing that receive audio for you much better.
Absolutely. So, what we want to say here when we're looking at these two devices again, the Plantronics 5200 is definitely worthy of taking a look at. It fits the needs for probably a large portion of folks that are working from home and they're using their mobile device as well as your PC. It's going to do the job for a vast majority of users or people that are out there. And the BlueParrott is a different animal, quite literally, and it does some things that the 5200 doesn't do because it's bigger, it's a little bit heavier, but the trade-off is you get the ability to have clearer audio in those moments when you have background noises that may be constant. You may be in an environment where you can't get away from it. If you happen to work in a location where there's constant noise in the background, or somebody milling or sawing or breaking or building things, it's really, or in a truck. There's a lot of truckers. I think it's the #1 headset for truckers simply because it does the job when you're on the road and you get a lot of background noise rolling through, and you need that ability to hear somebody clearly and have them hear you.
Yep.
So let's do this, Dave. We're almost at the end here. Let me get ready for this dunk test. But before we get to the dunk test,
You're not going to put it
let's
in the blender, are you?
it's not going to survive the blender, not at all. Let me throw it to you as I set that up. You can go ahead and keep on chatting away there with folks. If we've got any folks on chat, you can answer their questions, and then I'll come back and uh, I'll jump back here and on this feed and show the folks this water dunk test that we're about to do.
Okay, I'll talk about. I'll scroll some of the specials that we have going on for the BlueParrott as you set up for
Alrighty,
that. All right,
thank you.
everybody. So if we look down below, let's just take a quick review of some of these products that we have here. So the product that we see down below right here, this is the B350 from BlueParrott. They've actually recently given this a facelift. There's some new technology in this particular product. They've changed the colors and the shape slightly. Here it is right here. Um, we can go up to the B450 XT. So the 450 XT, it's a little bit larger than the 350. I believe it has some increased battery life, also a rugged product. They all have the best noise cancellation on the market. It's really about the size and weight that you're looking for as a user. Some people prefer something really heavy duty like the 550 that we were just reviewing. The 450 and the 350, slightly different materials. They just they weigh a little bit less, a little bit smaller. And the 550, I'm just going to go back to the 550 again because this is what we're going to be using for this dunk test. So we do talk about in the listing whether what is it, like waterproof and dust resistance and things like that. This is what Rolando's going to demo in just a couple of minutes. Really never seen anything that can do this. I would never take any headset that I've ever worn and put it into the water. They're too expensive to do that. They're really not advertised to be able to withstand that. But the 550 XT that we see here, again, Rolando was talking about truckers. Truckers are in and out of their cab. They need that ability where it's not going to fall off their head. Sometimes it's raining. This thing was going to carry right over to them pretty well with the water. So Rolando's going to do a demo on that in just a couple of minutes. And then I'll just put the Plantronics Voyager 5200. We'll highlight that one last time. So that is at the bottom of the carousel. The 5200, a slick product, minimalist design, has that spare charging case. It's the behind the ear wearing style. And really, I think Plantronics is, these guys are the ones that are really doing it right with this behind the ear style. If you are drawn to this style headset, this is certainly the unit that you should be going with. So I think Rolando is hopefully getting pretty close to jumping on there. I'll call it over to him. No, maybe not. And listen, you can come chat with us live, where we have some folks that are answering questions here. It's pretty quiet today. It's Friday. I think people are kind of wrapping up their week. Maybe you're being shy, but please come and chat with us live. And if you are wondering if this is a real tree behind me, that is a real picture of a tree. I am not outside in that environment up in New England. Here, it is that pretty, or at least it was yesterday, and now it is kind of the opposite of that. So, all right. So Rolando is still setting up, and what was the test that he's doing? He's doing the dunk test. So he's actually going to be putting this headset in water, and then we're going to do a test to see if that works afterwards. I hope this goes as planned. Live demos, you never know. You never. Right, so we're coming back to Rolando. There he is.
All right. So I've got here the headset. Can you hear me, Dave? Am I coming through?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. So Uri, you could probably drop the other shot. There you go. So I'm standing outside. It's a nice, beautiful day. It's a little windy. nice and sunny. We're going to take this bad boy that I'm wearing, and I'm going to put it right into this guy right here. Okay, let's just so you can see it's real water. I don't even know if you can hear the water, but it's real water. So I'm going to drop it in a few times. Maybe I'm going to see if I can. If Ori, can you go into a solo shot for Dave while I put this guy here on this mount? That way I can use my other hand. Thank you. So just give me a sec while I do that. And again, yeah, this is live, so anything could happen. This could work. It could not work. We're hoping it does work as intended, and that we're able to show you exactly what's happening. Now, what probably is going to happen, because this is the microphone has a membrane in it. After I put it in, let me just switch over here. Let me see if I can switch. It won't let me do that. No, okay. So let me put this guy over here. Let's see if we can do that. Now, Dave, can you see the water?
Yep,
Are we seeing the water?
Yeah, we can see the water right now.
All right, awesome. So we're able to do this. Okay, so I'm gonna take this bad boy off. You guys can still hear me. You hear me, Dave?
Yep, loud and clear.
All right, so I'm gonna throw it in the water. I'm gonna slash it and slop it and try to get it really wet, and hopefully the components don't break or shock me to death. Right? So here we go. And if you don't hear me right afterwards, just try to see if that water will run off the mic, and we should still be functional. So here we go.
All right. Whoa. That is the real. This is certainly a real demo. Oh, what happened to the audio? Okay.
So I can still hear you. Maybe
So
take a few seconds for this guy to normalize and come back to. And I'm going to take this off the stand. Dave, you hear me? I hear you. Go ahead. You talk.
So I'll talk right now, and just so that the audience, you had mentioned it before you had done that. So you had put this into the water, and you had mentioned that there might be like the membrane on the microphone itself. So
I can still hear you clearly, so I hear you just fine. So I hear what you're saying. So nothing is wrong with the actual speaker
right.
that are on here. I'm going to lower the volume a little bit, see if that works. I'm going to raise the volume. That works. So buttons are still working. I'm not hearing static in my ear. I'm not getting shocked.
That's good.
And if you're still able to hear me, then this test is a very good test in that the microphone is still operational. The speakers are still working. The components are still working inside. And so their claim of being waterproofed is quite valid, would you say?
Yeah, I would certainly say so. So the microphone volume seems a little bit low. It might just be because it's damp.
Yeah, it's still damp, but it's still working.
It is still working. And I can...
I was using a big studio mic, so those bigger microphones will project more voice than, let's say, one of these types of devices that are really a little bit different. Obviously, it's a much smaller microphone. But if you can hear me clearly and you can make out my voice, that's really the important part, and it's still functional.
Yeah, yeah. And I can see the questions coming in already for the at-home workers. Can they wear it in the shower? So who knows?
Now, I'm not going to advocate for that simply because we haven't tried that here yet.
Hey, we got time for another demo. Get in there.
You know what? Maybe on the next one. Not this one. It's a nice, beautiful. Maybe if I had an outdoor shower. It's a beautiful day today, and golly, Thanksgiving's around the corner. Can't believe it's so nice today. But I would say it worked in the shower. I don't know. I don't want to put anybody at risk if you don't need to, but it should. The other thing that we didn't do, and I don't happen to have, is a freezer test. A lot of folks that are using this in a cold environment, this microphone is rated to go into very cold environments and still work, as well as the water test that we did with dunking it. So I don't know. Showers, you're kind of on your own. I haven't tried it, so I can't give it my blessing at this point.
So that is the B550 XT. It's down at the bottom of the carousel. And we have this with the bonus charger for $225, and that comes with the 1 year warranty. So for probably the strongest headset on the market, it's a really good deal.
Oh, absolutely. I think so. And I guess all we have left now is just to let the folks know the answer to our trivia question. Oh, we were featuring the 550 there? Okay. So the 550, as you can see, I can't see the ratings. I'm on this little mobile phone. But Dave, I believe you may have said that it's really highly rated there with the reviews. Obviously, it's over 4 stars. So there's a lot of folks that actually like that B550 and give it, I say, a thumbs up. And I give it a
definitely.
thumbs up for actually working through the water test or the dunk test that we just put it through.
Yeah, if I had 3 thumbs, I'd put them all up.
All right, so let's go ahead and answer our trivia question for the day, Ori. Go ahead and throw that up. So, if you guessed that the company that produced the first headsets for NASA for their missions was Plantronics, you are correct. It was Plantronics, and it was in 1962, and it was a modified MS-50 headset that did the job. Now, the astronauts gave this headset and design called the Snoopy Cap or Snoop Cap, something to that effect, simply because it made them look like Snoopy inside when they put this gear on. And my, oh my, headsets have come a long way because that sucker looks heavy. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We love to bring you this type of content. And if you want more content like this, reach out to us. If you're on LinkedIn, if you're on YouTube, feel free to drop us some comments. If you're watching this not during the live stream, we'll have links on YouTube that'll take you to this product as well so that you can go ahead and purchase it at your leisure. And if you're on Amazon right now, we have them in stock. And you're a Prime member, these will ship out. In some cases, depending on the part of the country you're in, it'll ship out the same day or the following day. So, Dave, do you have any other parting words for us today?
That's it. If you guys have any questions, please come chat with us. Send us a message. You can text us or whatever works for you. We're your headset experts, and we're looking forward to doing more of these demos.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today, and we will see you again next week.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.